Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Happy Sunday, everyone. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Karen, I hope you are fine. I'm doing fine. What about you? How are you doing today? Thank you so much for joining. I'm doing fine. So thank you, good people, for joining. Thank you, good people, for joining. How are you doing today, guys? How was your Sunday? How was your Sabbath day? Thank you, guys, with a lot of love. Thank you also for the likes. Thank you all. Well, I'm just doing well. I appreciate, guys. I'm just doing fantastic. I'm just doing fantastic. There, guys, we go with our topic today. Today being on a Sunday, our topic is just linked with the role of the church in our community, and we are having a very, very critical, topic where we are asking: is the church really resolving the depression issue? Is the church really, or is religion really resolving the depression issue? Let me know your thoughts, guys. And also you can vote. You can vote via our poll. In what way do you believe the church or the religion is resolving depression issue today? Is it by challenging stigma? Is it by providing resources and referral? Is it about social support? Or is it about integrating treatment and faith? where does the church lie? You know, where is the church, or where is does the church lie in ensuring that the spikes linked with depression huwa sana lile lile liso So guys, let me know where the role of the church lies in the context of resolving a very interesting reply linked with the topic that we are having today. If the church is really resolving the depression issue, when I try checking on Google, this is the answer that is really popping up, and according to the answer, no, the church does not really focus on resolving the issue of depression today in the sense of offering a single definite cure. So it's like the church, many churches today are addressing the issue not fully, in such a way that the church does not have a single way of ensuring that maybe we reduce the issue of depression that is escalating each and every day. But some of the key notable efforts that have been taken by the church to ensure that the issue of depression is really addressed is the issue of the church, trying to integrate, the church trying to integrate what we call mental health support with spiritual care. I think that one is very much applicable. This is where most of the churches, when maybe you are depressed, when you have a lot of issues running inside your head, or inside learning in your brain, will always tell you, the first thing and the first step that you are going to take is all about, attacking this thing. Even if it's a mental thing, such as depression, maybe a certain disorder, the church will always use what we call the spiritual care. The church will always tell you, we are going to approach this thing through prayers, and through prayers and faith, we are always going to win against this issue called the depression. So that the church does not really have that framework of addressing, the different kind of depression really realized by people in a more comprehensive, or in a more comprehensive manner. The church does not really have what I would term to be a form of a full package, whereby it would really say, because you are depressed, maybe we are going to approach this thing through prayers, and then at the end of the prayers, everything will be done. No, the church has not really mastered on how really to tackle this issue of what we are calling depression. So depression is really a very complex issue, because at the end of the day, not even the church can only be able to fight it, but really needs, that form of collaboration, with the medics and with other with other experts, to ensure that we really resolve this issue. And therefore, as a way of ensuring that the church really intervenes to resolve this issue of depression, the church is always using what we call faith, and it's really trying to debunk all the form of maybe traditional misconceptions that may be related with such type of an ailment. So the church will always say, why you are depressed is because maybe your faith is weak, and in the process we really need you to be comprehensive in terms of your prayers, in terms of your fasting. The church, we call them the church rituals. The church rituals, those are some of the ways the church will always intervene to tell you this is how we really need to resolve this issue that we call depression. But one of the great ways that the church, or one of the great strategies that the church is really focusing on and actively using, it's all about challenging stigma. This is where many of the churches are actively, dismantling the harmful idea that depression is a sign of spiritual weakness. And you always find that most pastors and faith leaders now are really talking about this issue of depression, maybe to their congregant, to always show them on how maybe to approach it at the family level or even at the personal level. So the church is really having, or the church is really encouraging sermons. They are really coming up with a lot of sermons, and they are always coming up with a lot of discussions to ensure that people have this, what we would call as healthy conversations, to encourage people to seek assistance, especially when maybe they feel like they are depressed. So in terms of challenging stigma, I believe that the church is doing a lot. And one of the key examples that I can really testify about the church really fighting stigma is us growing up. We used to go to church, and the church will always try to organize a lot of meetings. Maybe for the youths. This is where maybe all the youths will have a convection. In fact, we always used to be called the convection. This is where maybe all the youths would meet somewhere, maybe be educated on the issues affecting them, and then at the end of the day they are given the remedies on how to approach those issues, mostly from the biblical concept. And at the end of the day, I think the strategy really used to work, because you'd find that maybe you are depressed. For instance, maybe you're in high school, maybe you are depressed, and you don't know what really to do. During that convection, you'd always have the chance, maybe to talk with a certain pastor, to tell him the challenges that you are facing. And then at the end of the day, maybe the clergy or the pastor would always give you some remedies, and would always, for those that really focused on assisting those youths, they would always tend to make a follow-up to ensure that those students at the end of the day, they have completed their high school, and maybe the issues that they really used to face at the end of the day are be able to be resolved. I think that was a very good way, and I also believe this is an extension of what is really happening today in our society, especially for these big churches. For instance, I have always seen the PCA church, trying to bring young people together, especially the young boys, especially those that are really, maybe transiting from one stage to another, like those guys that are really, those young boys that maybe are undergoing the circumcision rite. And the first step to ensure maybe that they eliminate stigma is all about educating them on how to behave as Christian, maybe when they go to the next stage, maybe how to handle their life and lifestyle, maybe in a godly manner. And I think at the end of the day, I think it's a very light approach of ensuring that they really resolve the key issues affecting the young people, especially when it comes to the issue of stigma. When we talk about the issue of stigma, this is something that can really jeopardize your mind. Karen, uko aje? Mi niko fine Karen. Na wewe uko aje Karen? Karen, how are you doing today? How are you doing today? How are you faring on with your channel, Karen? Guys, if you are here and you haven't followed Karen Jepkilui, guys, really check on her channel. She does an amazing work. She does an amazing work. You know, she is a good, a very good lady. Always focused to ensure she pursue what she really love. Niko poa tu kwa maisha tu. Kwa nini tu? Why the word tu? Eh? Eh? Karen, kwa nini jina tu? Kwa nini jina tu Karen? Niko poa tu kwa maisha tu. Eh? One thing that you are going to realize when you watch Karen Jepkilui's videos, they are very, what can I say? They are very sentimental and they have what I may say as hidden ethical messages. That's what she does. She really talks about life. Most of the things that maybe the young people who are in relationships face, and those issues maybe that at the end of the day we don't really want to talk about. Karen talks about them in a very figurative way. So guys, always check on Karen Jepkilui. You watch some of her videos and you can laugh. You can just laugh, because of how she put it across. Yeah, that's how it is. So Karen, keep up with the good work, and everyone else, let's keep on going on, because at the end of the day, it's all about, guys, believing in ourselves is all about ensuring that we keep moving, guys. Karen, kwa nini niko tu kwa maisha tu? So guys, challenging stigma, I believe that's the biggest role. It is one of the key roles that our churches are playing today. That's a very instrumental role that our churches are still ensuring that maybe reduce the issues of what we may call depression. The other thing that the church is very conversant with, and one of the key aspects is all about providing resources and referrals. This is where you'd always meet a pastor or a clergy, and then maybe when they see you are stressed or something of sort, they are always going to give you a lot of advice. They're always going to give you on how maybe you can navigate your problem, because depression mostly is really brought by the problems that you are having. Maybe there are some of the key problems that the church really approaches in the light way. Maybe someone who have really gone maybe through the clergy, talking about the issue. They always find that maybe they really get the assistance that they are looking for. However, in terms of providing resources and referral, I don't. There are some churches or there are some pastors that have not really done it well. They have. There are some pastors that maybe instead of providing professional assistance, they eat the goat, as Karen would always say. Some of them, they really eat the goat. So you give them the issue, like there was a case that I saw that was brought somewhere, and she was already, and she was saying that she does not have kids. So at the end of the day, they really separated with the husband, and in the process of separating with the husband, then the lady really had to intervene. She felt depressed. She really felt depressed, and then in the process of feeling depressed, she really sought assistance, from the pastors, that she really believed that maybe they would pray together, and then at the end of the day, maybe her issue would have been resolved. But the lady got very disappointed, to an extent that she was saying all the pastors where she took her maybe her issue would always love to have a piece of cake. They would always have to have a piece of cake, and then eh, they would always find it. Then she would always find it to be very, very weird. So there are some pastors and there are some clergies. Instead of offering what we call the professional help and maybe resources, they always maybe do it the long way. They always do it the reverse way. Instead of offering it, they always ask for, how can I call, for favors, which is a very, very wrong thing. At the end of the day, I have also heard of so many problems, maybe where who am I? Maybe where we are having what we may call church followers, maybe that are having a lot of issues, that are maybe depressed, and at the end of the day, when they go to seek assistance from the pastors really focus on misusing them, and in the process of misusing them, others are even having kids, out of wedlock with the pastors, which is such a very, very, very big shame when it comes to how the church should relate with its congregation. But what I love about this is that some of the key churches or some of the churches are really going to an extent of ensuring that they have crusade and mental health seminars where they are able to provide referrals to their clients on the counseling services, and also others are really inviting what we may call the health professionals, the mental health professionals, to really talk with their congregations about on how to really handle the issue of depression. So the church is also doing very, very good, especially in trying to bring, in trying to invite the mental health professionals to talk to congregations about how to handle the crisis of mental health. Because mental health is really, really being exhibited in very, very diverse ways, because people are really, mentally, people are really triggered by anything, Nowadays, almost everything is triggering everyone, or most people, Nowadays, almost any issue is really triggering people into what we may call mental health, or what we may call the depression. So it's always very, very good to appreciate that the church has really taken its role in ensuring that it's linking, its congregant with mental health professionals, as a way of ensuring that it's able to curb the issue of rising depression. That's so amazing, eh? Then the church is also creating what we may call the social support. Yeah, the church is also very, very instrumental in ensuring that social support is really created. This is where most churches they focus on creating what we may call a sense of community. They really want to have community faith, which is very, very critical in managing depression. This is where most churches they group, they provide social connections and emotional support to ensure that they are able to tackle the issue of depression. And I think at the practical level, this is where the churches have what we call the huduma, for those guys that have really gone to, for those guys maybe that their churches deals with, maybe, congregants coming from the same area, having what we may call fellowship. I think this is where now this thing falls. At the end of the day, most churches, they really want to form what we call huduma, so that each and every congregant would really check on their on their friends. Maybe they can be able to understand the issues that they are experiencing, and at the end of the day, in the process, they are very, very able to solve the issue of depression, which is such a very good thing, because in the process, when your friend is maybe having when your friend maybe is having some issues, you are able to understand, and now you can even engage maybe your pastors or even some other offices maybe within the church, as a way maybe of trying to curb the rising issue of depression. I think that's a very, very tactical way of the church ensuring that depression is really reduced within the church settings. The church is also key in integrating faith and treatment. Yeah, this is where I would always go to the church, and the church would always tell me, you know what, even at the end of the day, even if you are passing all these issues, just remember that the Lord is just on the throne. I think that's a very good thing, especially when it comes to believing maybe you can be cured of a certain disease. Yeah, this is where in some counseling services, such as the pastoral counseling, they really integrate what we may call the spiritual teachings as a way of trying to project the whole picture about the mental health. And in the process, they give really a very good way or a very good approach of ensuring that we tackle this monster of depression. I love this that research, the research shows that some of the spiritual context or some of the spiritual scriptures can have positive impact on, on depressed people, and they can effectively ensure that depression is really eliminated. So that one is also very, very important, in such a way that some of the key context or some of the key spiritual readings used by our preachers, they are always very, very key in ensuring that we are able to eliminate what we call depression. So depression, the church is really trying. However, it's always good to understand that despite all the efforts, of our churches to ensure that it fights the issue of, depression, the church always experience what we may call inadequate training. This is where many pastors, still feel that they are very inadequate, addressing the issue of mental health. Yeah, this is where most of them, they really feel that they are very ill-equipped to recognize and address the issue of mental health. And I agree, because at the end of the day, there was this guy who was really saying this, and I really totally agree with him. He was really asking if pastors really can pray for people maybe who cannot walk and they walk, maybe in a crusade. They should do as they should also do the same extension maybe in the hospitals, or maybe to those guys that maybe have the mental issues. But one thing that I really love is that most of the churches have really recognized, that at the end of the day, they really need to integrate what we may call the scriptures with the mental health from the professionals. I think in that process, I think in the process, it's really working for the churches as well as for the congregant who might feel that they are really depressed. Another issue is all about a low percentage of people who seek counsel from clergy are referred they are always referred to mental health professionals, even when their symptoms warrant to it. I agree. There is a way that maybe your pastor can pray for you, or maybe your bishop can really pray for you, and then at the end of the day they just realize, oh, this issue is mental, this issue is not heading. So at the end of the day they really refer you to a mental professional, for some medical assistance. So that charge of feeling inadequacy or inadequate is really there in our churches, and at the end of the day we must also appreciate that our pastors, they are not God, so at the end of the day they are also very inadequate when handling the issue of what we may call the mental health. The other issue that is really inhibiting the church is always about the differing beliefs, with each and every church, embracing a different ideology when it comes to the issue of mental health. And this is very true in our society, guys, because at the end of the day, there are some churches that you just go and they just establish that this thing is mental, and the pastor just pray, and maybe they give you maybe they give you Bible, and they always tell you, keep on praying. But as a way of praying, maybe you can extend what you are doing by seeing a professional. But the other churches, even if you are mentor and they are seeing that maybe you are breaking down to the worst level, they always encourage you to go to church. They always tell you, you need to seek God more. So you go for fasting, you do everything, you go everything, and then at the end of the day, it's not changing. And this case can be well illustrated by what we call the Mackenzie issue. I know for those guys in Kenya, they can really recall what really happened to Mackenzie issue. People were depressed. People were depressed, very depressed, and always guys would go for Mackenzie to look for mental solution. And in the process, Mackenzie would always tell them, you guys, you really need to do what we call fasting, and they were even told, for your problems, and this, yeah, that guy Karen, and for these guys, most of them really believed in Mackenzie. I think he had a form of sham, because he would really tell them, you guys, you really need to do fasting for like 30 days so that your mental issues or the issues that you are really facing, yeah, he really took the advantage of them. He really took, and at the end of the day, Mackenzie realized that most of these guys were really dying. And then the only solution that he really had as a way of concealing everything was just, dumping them in the middle of the Bonny Forest. That was so sad. That was so sad. Mackenzie was that one guy who would always, dodge, his congregant into telling them that, you guys, I can, I am a mentor guy, and I can really solve all the issues. It doesn't matter which issue you are facing, but at the end of the day, I'm really going to solve that issue, and you are going to go home happy. But most of them, indeed, they never went back in their houses, and those guys that were really rescued from Mackenzie, you could always see most of them were really going to afterlife. And apart from Mackenzie, we also had this other guy in Tanzania who was called Babu. I don't know if you guys, you can really recall Babu. Babu was also using the same approach, kuna ingine saa hii. Which one Karen? Tupatie uhondo. Which one is that? Which one is that? Ni gani hiyo tena? And I think I know it. I think I know it. And that church has also been there for a long time too. Nimeona juzi kwa TV. Najiitaje? Oh, the worst thing with our church pastors, and our clergies, most of them, they are, in Mombasa too bad. So he is virtually solving all the issues people are facing, because that's where now we are having depression. Because if you have an issue that has been disturbing you for a very long time, that's a state or a sign of depression. But these pastors are so charming to an extent that they just tell you, you know what, Karen, just come to Mombasa for prayer sessions, and then I can confirm to you when you go back, Karen, all your issues will be resolved. Kwa mwosho mmoja, at once, all your issues. Wow, a lot of bodies has also been found there. It's also in Mombasa. I think now I can really agree that we have what we call the human sacrifices. I think most of these clergies that are really saying that they are also mental experts, I think they are also doing what we may call human sacrifices. Because when I really investigated, when Mackenzie's issue was really investigated, Mackenzie, it was beyond resolving your issues, because there is no way you have all your sixth sense, the sixth sense, and then at the end of the day you are being told to to fast for 30 days, and you just agree willingly, without even thinking twice. Maybe you go hungry for 15 days and you still insist that I really need to go for another 15 days until all my issues are resolved. You are right. Kama kuna mtu amepotea, enda huko. Karen, I think most of them are doing what we may call human sacrifices. Most of them I suspect. They are doing a lot of what we may call human sacrifices, which is very, very wrong. Yeah, I think this is very, very wrong, because the church has really, the clergy, and the pastors. Some of these pastors, they have really failed to recognize that, if it's a mental issue, that's the reason why we have the professionals, But one thing that I really keep on laughing at, our churches and our clergy, they have really acted as everything. Yeah, alafu kuna mtu anaona tu nakufa. That was now the worst mistake. Me, I didn't know where some of these senses went, because at the end of the day, there is no way I can fast for 15 days and you can see maybe my eyes are pale, and at the end of the day you really want to fast like me for 30 days, and you still believe that we shall complete the journey. You will die. You will die in the process. So most of these church clergies, most of these pastors, clergies, and the team, most of them, they really believe that maybe they can resolve each and every issue, be it financial issue. Most of them believe resolving financial issue, it is their mandate. Resolving marriage conflict, it is their mandate. Resolving your mental issues, it is their mandate. Yani, the way we Africans take the church, we take it as a hub of a complete therapy. A hub where all your issues, once you take them maybe to the pastors and the clergy, then at the end of the day utakuwa sawa. Na anasema bado anaamini Mackenzie. Of course, even after the case was unleashed, I saw some guys protesting saying that Mackenzie was innocent, and I didn't really understand how innocent he was. You know, how innocent he was. And they could also, even today, even after he was jailed, they could always keep on saying, the guy is very, very innocent, and it was all about fabrication. And then I could see the kind of I really don't understand if I should call it stupidity by some of the followers that really do not use their senses, especially when decepting, lies and what we may call true gospel. Yeah, mostly story ikishika manze unaamini even. Okay, thank you. eh, yeah, mostly we always agree, because at the end of the day, we now Africans, we really love to go where maybe we have easy solutions. That's now the thing. And the reason why maybe the church has not, or maybe the religion, let me not just dwell on the church, maybe the reason why the religion has not really, what is it called, not really agreed that, yes, eh, maybe the reason why maybe we are failing big time is because at the end of the day, uh, you know, we have, our mind have been so preoccupied in maybe taking the church as a one-stop shop, for each and every issue, be it marriage issue, be it conflict, be it tribal issue, be it mental issue. We really want to believe that without the church, these issues cannot really be resolved. And therefore, through that belief, you always find that most believers or most congregants would always now want to take a escapee, they would always want to hide, or maybe they would really want to go to the church for all these issues to be resolved. So even if you understand maybe you are having a financial issue or financial depression issue, you don't, most of us, they don't really want to go back to the drawing board and maybe see where they made the mistake. No, they really want to go to go back to their churches, maybe talk with their pastors, tell them, guys, this is the issue that I'm really realizing, and then at the end of the day, I know that through your assistance, this issue is going to come to an end. And in the process, they also find the same. They also find themselves you know, going back in the same hole, which is such a a very bad thing. So at the end of the day, the different beliefs in many churches is also hindering what we may call an effective, an effective resolution to the issue of depression. For instance, there is a notion that maybe when you are depressed, Maybe when you are depressed, the issue can be linked with a sin, and which can really be linked with shame and prevent people from seeking what we may call medical intervention. Now that's the kind of mentality that we have been introduced into, and a kind of mentality whereby we always believe that even all these issues that maybe I'm facing at the current moment is because maybe I made a sin or I sinned somewhere, and then until now all the sins are gone. That's now maybe I can be revived back and going back into my own being. So that's one of the key downfall. That's one of the key downfall that is really messing up to resolving the issue of depression. The other issue that I really love is all about what we are talking here with Karen. Most churches or most believers really relying on prayers alone. This is where we have really occupied our mind with what we may call praying it away. Praying it away. And we really want to believe that everything that we are really facing, even I saw some churches whereby maybe they don't believe in the aspect of treatment. There are some churches that are not really believing in the aspect of treatment. They always tell you, you know what, maybe when you feel headache, you should always go and pray. They don't have any remedy for, they don't really have a remedy to tell the congregant or their followers to go to the hospital. They always tell them, even if the situation is so hard, you should never go to the hospital. There was a church like that, and then unfortunately a girl died in their home because the girl, it was a kind of a turban religion or turban church, whereby they really believed that going to the hospital was not necessary. So anything that they really faced, it was all believed, that it could all be cured using prayers. And then in the process, a family lost their daughter. Because the daughter didn't go to hospital even after complaining to the parent that she was not feeling well. And so the parent uh, really relied on the prayers, but at the end of the day, things did not go very well with the daughter. She died. She died. And then when now they came to expose the issue, they were really saying that they wish they knew that they could have taken the daughter to the hospital. So we have some key religion. We have some of religion that are really enforcing and telling their followers not to really focus on the intervention of medical intervention, but rather to focus on prayers alone. Where prayers, we are seeing where prayers can be such a helpful coping mechanism, it should not replace professional medical care. I believe so too. In as much as we all believe that we have God who can be able to solve everything else, we should also appreciate that the professionals, the medical professionals and everyone, they have also been put by God there. And therefore, we cannot downgrade or even overlook on their professionalism because of prayers alone. No, we really need to seek assistance from them. We really need to to go to them, tell them our issues, and then in the process they can really intervene. And in the process of intervening, we can even get cure. One thing, there was a very good approach by one of the pastors who was really saying that for you to be free from any form of bondage, when you are sick, just go to the hospital. When you given the medicine, just pray. Just pray for those medicine, and you just tell God, you know what, this is the disease that has been diagnosed from my body, but through this medicine that I have been given, God, I really want to pray that they are going to work and they are going to heal. And now when you take the medicine as you believe, as you embark on that aspect of faith, I think things really work. Unlike when you don't, you are sick. At the end of the day, you are really having the prayer mindset that everything should be approached using prayers, to get your effective treatment. That effective treatment will never come along. Will never come along. But one key thing, or one of the key takeaway that we should always understand, is that today, the church is growing as an instrumental component. The church is really growing as an instrumental component of becoming a safe haven for safe, supportive environment or environments for people with depression. I agree, because at the end of the day, if you really meet a church, not like the Mackenzie church, but if you really meet a church that really tells you, you know what, my guy, you need to go to the hospital, then from there you can come, now we do the prayers, and then we hope, and then we will believe that God is going to heal. That church is a very, very important, because at the end of the day, it will really keep your balance, your faith balance, through the medication that you are going to be given. But it's always good, and it's always very wise, to understand that there are some churches that are very, very deceptive. At the end of the day, they don't really want you to go to the hospital, and when things go south, they always keep quiet. So it's always good, and it's always safe for you to approach this issue, from a wise perspective. Understand that healing comes, when you seek for assistance. And assistance should be diverse. It should not be just, spiritual assistance. You should also seek medical assistance, especially when you feel the issue of depression. Because as we said, depression is exhibited in each and every issue that we are leading. Yes, I'm doing fine. So it's always good to be very wise to understand on how to handle the issue of depression, because at the end of the day, we really need you, and we really need, we really need people who can listen, beyond the pastors or beyond the bishops' mentality, because at the end of the day, when you die, then things are going to be very, very different. But when you seek for medical assistance, and then at the end of the day, maybe you build your faith, one of the key takeaways that I would always advise, it's always, you seek mental assistance, via the church, and also make sure, along besides seeing the church, you also see the medical professional, so that now you can have what we call a holistic treatment approach. Yeah, when you have a holistic approach, then things are going to become more better. So we are saying that the church is becoming a safe haven for supportive environment for people with depression, and it's also very, very critical, to realize, as we have said, it's not only the church that is going to resolve the issue, but we really also need to integrate, the issue of the church with the medical resources. So with the medical resources, and when we talk about the medical resources, we are all talking about what we call the professionals. Yeah, we are all talking about the professionals. So the need to see the professionals is also very, very critical. So not while they do not have the medical means, now the churches resolve the issue on their own. Very, very important. Yeah, having what we call variable uh, having what we call variable and compassionate component of medical healthcare. That one is also very, very important. Okay. That one is also very, very important. We integrate the role of the church and also the role of the professionals to ensure that we really fight the issue of depression. And one of the key aspects really linked with our today's depression, depression is coming from all sides, all sides, on all corners of how maybe we are treating our lives, the issues that we are facing in our workplaces, the issues that we are facing in our home, and therefore the chances, of not getting stressed, they are very, very minimal. And therefore there is need, or there is a nudge of understanding and really realizing that we really need to fight depression from both the religious aspect and also from the aspect of what we may call the professional aspect. So when you integrate the professional aspect and you integrate it with your religious belief, then I think the issue of depression really becomes less of a concern to us. But when we keep on relying on one side, maybe we rely more on the church and its prayer, then at the end of the day, I don't believe that we are going to resolve the issue of the increasing issues of depression. There is need to strike the balance, yeah. In as much as we believe that God heals, at the end of the day, we really need to see the professionals, really understand where our issues are coming from, how maybe we can reduce them maybe in the future, and how maybe we can take the medication to ensure that we suppress the issues, the mental issues that we are facing. And I think that's the easiest approach of ensuring that we really fight with depression. So guys, that's the thing. That's a very, very important topic of understanding the role that religion is playing, or the role that the religion is taking in terms of fighting depression. So definitely religion is taking a very, very great role in fighting depression. But besides religion taking all that role, there is also need for us to focus and to ensure that we use also the medical professionals in ensuring that we suppress or we prohibit the issue of depression. Otherwise, guys, that was a very instrumental topic, because at the end of the day, there is need for us to understand on which side we are going to be. And if we understand on that, then it really becomes very, very credible for someone to make a choice, on how to handle their depressing issues, be it financial issues, be it marital issues, be it work related issues, all these issues. Because the moment we experience all these issues, they are ultimately they are all leading to one monster that we are calling depression. And therefore it's always good to emotional or the medication part, then everything now becomes even more nicer. So guys, today we really had a very good quiz. In which way do you believe that the church is resolving depression issue today? Is it through challenging stigma? Is it through providing resources and referrals? Is this through creating social support? Is through treating treatment and faith? I would also go for integrating treatment and faith. You know, integrating treatment and faith. This is where, for those churches that really want to help their congregation or their followers, they always prioritize on telling you, you really need to see, besides prayers, you really also need to see your medical professional, so that maybe they can give you a better view of this issue. However, there are some churches that are really not integrating faith. They are not integrating treatment. So they leave the treatment part, like the Mackenzie part, and then they just integrate it with faith. Corinne, Bissau, Corinne de Paris, Queen Pes, Atois Bissau. I'm gracious. How are you doing? Poa.
Uko na msumari?
Iko.
Ndogo ya hii?
Iko.
Ni how much?
10 bob ya steel.
Wamesema ngapi?
Steel nail.
Nipe.
Gapi?
Umesikia moja ni 10 bob. Umesikia ni 5 bob. Masikio litupa hapa. Moja ni 10 bob na umesikia.
Ya kwanza niambie size yenye unataka. Kuna hii.
Umeniambia ndogo ya hii. Hii ni ndogo sana. Sio ndogo sana. Kubwa yake kidogo.
Kubwa yake.
Hapo nipe moja hiyo. And then hizo zingine kubwa kidogo.
Mimi sioni kama nimebakisha kubwa kuliko hiyo. Zenye ziko sana ni kubwa zaidi.
Hizo bado price ni the same.
Kama niko na 2.5. Sina 2.5. So nikupe hii ama?
Nipe tu hizo mbili kwanza nyingine.
Okay. Tatu. Thank you. Corinne, how are you doing? Jen quiz. I'm trying to translate. I'm trying here. A lot of love, Corinne. I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. I'm really doing fine. Thank you guys for joining. Oh, thank you guys for joining. We can support the live by contributing to today's topic, by either voting or by either setting our thoughts. And guys, I'm really going to appreciate. I'm really going to appreciate. I'm really going to appreciate. Corinne Marsebren. There we go. Jatil and video event Okofoinsa Africain. How was the video, Corinne, that you watched? You liked it? Comment la video. Wow, that was so bad of him. That was so bad of him. That was so bad. Theta 8 Villement Moldisapat. Quad to telephone the African Sako Utchal. Well, what now this? I can see the word telephone. French. Yeah, I agree. When you call from Africa, it costs a lot. It's very, very costly. Yes, I agree. It's very costly. Oui, je suis d'accord d'appel depuis l'Africain Cotilis Charles. Yeah, Corinne from Africa, Corinne, I agree. Very, very expensive. Very expensive. Depuis l'Africain Cotilis Charles. Very, very expensive. Very, very expensive. Thank you guys for joining. You can support our live by contributing to our today's topic. This is where we are asking for a very, very simple question: in which way do you believe that the church is resolving the depression issue today? Is it by challenging stigma? Is it by providing resources and referrals? Is it by creating social support? Is it by integrating faith and treatment? Where does religion lie? Where does your religion lie? Or where does your religion come in resolving the issue of depression? That's a very, very sensitive thing, and we should also be able to understand where maybe our religion comes in, to fighting what depression. Tes un mec supple simpas. So let me know, guys, where your religion lies in fighting depression issue. Let me know if it's active, if it's an active strategy or if it's a passive one. When we talk about the active. Thank you, Corinne. I appreciate for the compliment. Merci j'apprécie les compliments. So let me know if your church is taking an active role or it's taking a passive role. An active role towards fighting depression is where now the church is at the center, of eliminating stigma, is at the center of ensuring maybe you have some education information from the expert on how to eliminate stigma. But for Mackenzie and the other group, this is where the church is now taking the passive role, always trying to do what we call the brain drain, and just to tell you, what, even if you are depressed, the only thing that you really need to do is all about prayers. And then at the end of the day, you die in the process, guys, which is not a very good thing. So let me know if your church is taking an active role, or it's really taking what we may call the passive role. Great evening to Corinne. Super Bronois Corinne. Bonsoil. Super Bonsoil. Super Bonsoil. Super Bonsoil. Nice evening too. That's the meaning of that. Super Bonsoil. That is it, guys. I really want to say thank you. Three minutes to go, guys. 3 minutes to go. There we go. So is the church taking an active or passive role in fighting depression? mental or mental health. Is it taken what we may call active or passive? And then in which way? Do you believe the church is resolving depression issue? Is it challenging stigma? Is it providing resources? Is it creating social support? Is it integrating health and faith? So guys, now this comes to the end of our life, and I really want to say thank you so much guys for always joining. It was very nice to see you guys. It was very nice seeing you today, today being on a Sunday. And I really want to say thank you. I really want to appreciate everyone, each and every comment that was projected through this live. And God willing guys, let's keep on having our conversation going. Let's meet tomorrow, same place, same time guys. May you have the best of your Sunday evening, and until tomorrow guys, a lot of love everyone, and may God bless you guys. Let's see each other tomorrow guys. Until next time, may God bless you.